She held the wine like it was part of her hand, stemless, crimson, second pour. I watched through the patio door, the glass catching just enough reflection to keep me hidden. Rachel laughed first. You didn't, she said. I did, Vanessa said. And you know what? He should be grateful. Rachel blinked. Grateful? It shook us out of the autopilot. Made everything clearer. Tom shifted in his seat. Vanessa, don't give me that look. We were stagnant. It woke me up. Woke him up. Rachel leaned forward. Does he know? He knows I cheated. He doesn't know it was with someone we both know. Rachel's hand flew to her mouth. Vanessa. What? She said, laughing. Don't clutch pearls you don't wear. I was drowning in routine. It was survival. Tom cleared his throat. You told him after? Of course. After it stopped. I didn't want to lie. And I was proud of us. For surviving it. I moved a fraction, my foot silent on the tile. Rachel whispered, did he yell? He was quiet. Too quiet. Honestly, it freaked me out. Tom looked toward the door. I didn't move, Vanessa continued, he didn't even ask who. Just nodded. Like I'd told him we were out of eggs. Rachel's voice dropped. And you think that's a good thing? I think it means he's finally listening. To what? To the version of me I've been trying to be. Tom stared at his glass. You sound like you're auditioning for a TED Talk. Vanessa smirked. Maybe I am. Rachel shook her head. I don't know. If David cheated on me, I wouldn't be sitting here bragging. Vanessa tilted her head. I'm not bragging. I'm free. She sipped. Smiled. The same smile she gave clients, baristas, and my mother when she wanted to be adored. Tom stood. I'm gonna check on dessert. I stepped back before he reached the door. He didn't see me. None of them did. I moved down the hall, into the kitchen, and opened the freezer just as he walked in. You okay? He asked. Peach or cherry? I said, pulling the boxes out. He blinked. Cherry. I set it on the counter. Vanessa likes peach. Noted. He watched me slice the plastic with a knife. Vanessa's been through things, he offered, haven't we all? He didn't reply. Just handed me the pie dish. When we walked out together, Vanessa looked up from the table and smiled. There you are, she said. Everything all right? Cherry's thawed. Peach isn't, I said. She pouted. That figures. I served in silence. No one asked me anything. They talked around me, movies, books, politics in polite doses. Vanessa placed her hand over mine as I set her plate down. Thank you, she said. I nodded. After they left, she kicked off her shoes and sank into the couch. That went well, she said, eyes closed. I sat in the chair across from her. You said something interesting tonight. Her eyes opened slowly. Which part? About being grateful. She blinked. You heard that? I was standing at the door. She sat up. Oh. I waited. She smoothed her dress down. I didn't mean it cruelly. You said it woke us up. It did. You cheated, Vanessa. Yes. And I'm not proud. But I'm also not ashamed. It happened. Why? She looked at me then, really looked. Because I felt invisible. And now? I don't. Because you're here, listening. I studied her face. The softness of someone who'd convinced herself her wreckage was rebirth. You said we survived it. She nodded. I didn't survive anything. I just stood still. Her expression shifted. You're angry. No. I said. I'm awake. She exhaled, long and slow. So what does that mean? It means you're not the only one who changed. Vanessa looked down at her empty glass. Are we still we? I stood. Picked up the plates. I don't know. She didn't stop me. Just watch me walk to the sink. I let the water run hot and didn't flinch when it scalded. Behind me, the room was still. She hadn't lied tonight. She was freer. You made the guest list without me. Vanessa glanced up from her laptop, half-smile loaded. You were swamped. I figured I'd take it off your plate. 4 of your coworkers. Not one of mine. Well, you're not exactly social. I have friends, Vanessa. She raised an eyebrow. Name one who's not married to your job. I set the mail down. Why does it always have to be your version of us that gets broadcast? What does that mean? The posts. The stories. You narrate everything like you're solo. She snorted. It's Instagram, not a biography. I stared at her. She added, people like what's confident. So there's no room for quiet. There's room. It's just not what gets remembered. I stepped back. That's convenient. She didn't look up. At brunch the next weekend, Vanessa held court again. I told him, she said, fork in hand, if he doesn't want to pitch in with rent, maybe he should sleep somewhere rent-free. Laughter rippled around the table. I didn't laugh. Tom looked over. What did you say? I blinked. I wasn't in the room. Vanessa waved a hand. It's just a story, babe. No, it's your story. Rachel frowned. Wait, that didn't happen? It did, Vanessa said quickly. Just, differently. I excused myself. I in the hallway, I took a breath. I could still hear her voice float from the dining room, carrying energy like a stage light. She always knew how to land a punchline. Even if it was me she punched, that night, she slipped into bed beside me. You're still upset. I didn't answer. It was harmless, she whispered. People like that version. They don't know me. They know us. No, Vanessa. They know you. I'm just scenery. She rolled to face me. That's not fair. What is? She went quiet. I read your article. I added. A pause. And? Our journey. Your voice. Your triumph. I worked hard on that. I noticed. She sat up. Do you want a line-by-line breakdown of where I should have said we instead of I? Because I can't rewrite it every time your feelings shift. I sat up too. You rewrote us. Period. She exhaled hard. You're making this ugly. No, Vanessa. I'm finally seeing what was always there. The next morning, she made coffee like nothing had happened. I RSVP'd for that art gala Saturday, she said over her shoulder. You'll come, right? I don't think so. You love those things. I used to. She turned. What's going on with you lately? I took the mug. I'm starting to recognize my shape in the mirror again. She blinked. That's dramatic. No. That's clarity. She leaned on the counter. You think I'm some villain? I think you forgot I'm a person. She opened her mouth, then closed it. I walked past her, leaving the steam behind me. Later that week, I found a scrapbook, our first apartment. My handwriting on the moving checklist. Her captions beneath every photo, our living room. My favorite chair. My first dinner party. My Friday night, I stood in the doorway while she rehearsed a speech. Keep it light, she muttered. Lead with the crisis. Pivot to redemption. Pause for gratitude. You have a template for honesty? She jumped. Jesus, don't sneak up on me. I wasn't sneaking. She adjusted her blouse. I'm just trying to get this right. Do I get a mention? What? In your speech. She laughed. Why? I helped. She blinked. You want credit? No, I said. I want to see if I still exist. She rolled her eyes. You're being exhausting. Good, I said. I'm tired too. At the gala, I didn't speak much. Vanessa worked the room. Her laugh was just loud enough. Her dress caught every camera angle. I watched her from the balcony, silhouetted by applause. Brilliant, someone whispered behind me. I smiled without turning. She spotted me later. You vanished. I was where I've always been. Her brows pinched. What is that supposed to mean? I stepped into the light. Outside the frame. She stared. I wish you'd stop acting like a ghost. I didn't die, I said. You just buried me under your spotlight. Her face flickered, and for the first time, she had no comeback. Certainly. Here is the full chapter, strictly following your input. The phone buzzed once, soft against the comforter. I had just finished fluffing her side of the pillows. I wasn't snooping. Last night was worth the risk. That was the message. Nothing else. No name, no emoji. Just enough. I stood there. The fitted sheet still twisted under my hand, and watched the screen fade to black. Vanessa walked in holding a grapefruit and a spoon. You made the bed already? I straightened. Mostly. She sat down, scrolling through the news on her iPad like nothing existed outside the glass rectangle. I picked up her phone. Hey, I said, calm. You have a message. She didn't look up. Probably Rachel. I owe her a reply. It's not Rachel. Her head tilted. Slowly. Oh? I watched her face closely. Want me to read it? She smiled like I was joking. Go for it. I pressed the screen and held it out. Her smile flickered. I said nothing. She set the grapefruit down. That's not what it looks like. Then, tell me what it is. She hesitated. It's complicated. It's a sentence. She stood. Look, can we not do this now? Why not? Because I have a call in 10, and I don't feel like dragging us into another, us. She paused. You said dragging us, I said, still holding her phone. But I didn't send this. She took a slow breath, hand on her hip. You're being dramatic. I haven't said anything yet. She reached for the phone. I didn't give it back. Who's Jordan? Her mouth opened, closed, then opened again. No one serious. Then why does it matter? She didn't answer. I sat on the edge of the bed. Tell me something, Vanessa. Were you hoping I'd see it? Of course not. Then why leave it unlocked? I forgot. No, I said. You assumed I wouldn't look. She folded her arms. Because you never do. I do now. She let out a sharp laugh. You're trying to flip this? Really? After all these years of emotional distance, now you're suddenly the betrayed wife? I stood. No. I'm the woman who just woke up. God, she muttered, turning away. This is why I never finished that sentence. She faced me. This is why I stopped telling you things. You make everything about hurt. And you make everything about you. Silenced, I let the phone fall onto the comforter. She picked it up without looking at me. It didn't mean anything. It meant enough for you to protect it more than us. That's not true. Then say his name. She stared. Say his name. Jordan. I nodded once. I didn't mean to. I don't care what you meant. Her face dropped. Excuse me? You heard me. You're overreacting. I'm calculating. That caught her off guard. I walked to the dresser, opened a drawer, pulled out a folder. What's that? Receipts. Patterns. Your schedule. Her eyes narrowed. What are you planning? Something careful. You don't get to, I get to decide what I stay for. She looked stunned. And I'm done staying behind, I said. Enjoy your call. I walked out before she could find her next line. Certainly. Here is the chapter, written to your exact specifications. Elise Porter didn't smile when I walked into her office. She didn't need to. She gestured to the chair across from her desk. You came alone? Yes. Good. That's a strength, not a weakness. Her office smelled like lemon oil and certainty. No family portraits, no inspirational quotes. Just books and silence. She opened a folder, flipped through the papers. So, Vanessa. I nodded. She's the type that controls the story? Down to the punctuation. She glanced up, expression unreadable. You love her? I did. Enough to stay quiet for a while. And now? I don't love what she's become with me. She tapped her pen once. Tell me what you know, not what you feel. So I did. Jordan's name. The text. The phone. Left unlocked like bait or a dare. The wine-laced confession behind the glass. Elise didn't interrupt. When I finished, she asked, has she admitted it directly to you? She thinks I'm too fragile to confront her. But you're here. I'm done playing quiet. She leaned back. Good. Now listen carefully. Don't react. Document. That's what you recommend? That's what wins. She passed me a list. Bank accounts. Home equity. Shared passwords. Credit cards. Calendar apps. I want patterns, she said. The things she thinks you're too distracted to notice. I'm not distracted. Her eyes flicked to mine. I can tell. I stared at the list. This will take time. You have it. What happens when she figures it out? Let her guess. That's power. There was a long pause, then she asked, do you want to hurt her? No, you want to win? No, I said. I want to leave her with the silence she gave me. Elise nodded. Then we build quietly. I got to work, canceled nothing. Changed nothing. Just watched the late night returns. The gym bag that never carried sweat. The passive-aggressive pauses in conversation. Vanessa was sloppy with her guilt, too used to being admired to notice how exposed she'd become. Every password she'd once insisted we share, I remembered. I never changed them. Just signed in. Not to spy. To map the financials. Told their own story. Elise, I said during our second meeting, she's been moving money. Show me. I did. Venmo receipts labeled therapy sent to names she'd never mentioned. Hotel folios tucked into shared statements. Lyft rides from addresses she never said out loud. Smart, Elise murmured. But not smarter than you. I stared at a highlighted line. She paid for dinner twice on the same night. Elise arched a brow. 2 reservations. 1 marriage. I almost laughed. But I didn't. On our 4th meeting, Elise said, she'll sense it soon. I know. Don't change behavior. Don't drop hints. She accused me of being cold last night. What did you say? That I was finally matching her temperature. Elise smiled. First time she's planning something, I added. How do you know? She's being extra affectionate. Elise closed her folder. That means she's either guilty or scared. I nodded. Or both. She leaned forward. We file when you're ready. Not when it hurts most. Not when she's looking. When it's quiet. When she's sure she still owns the room. I breathed in slowly. Okay. Elise? Yes? Thank you. She shook her head. Thank yourself. You're not reacting. You're writing your exit. And for the first time in a long time, I believed I'd already started. Certainly. Below is the full chapter, written exactly to 800 words, following all the rules and emotional tone of your input. You know what would be fun? Vanessa stood in the kitchen holding swatches of gold foil menus. An anniversary party. I looked up from my coffee. For us? 8th year. It's a weird one, but we made it. That deserves champagne. I stirred my spoon slowly. If you want one, throw one. Her eyes lit. You don't mind? I'll help with the menu. She walked over and kissed my cheek. That's why I love you. You let me breathe. No. I thought. I let you perform. The week that followed was ribbon deep in Pinterest boards and vendor calls. Vanessa was giddy, in control. She picked a rooftop downtown, hired a string trio. I nodded through the decisions. 70 guests, she said, flipping through her planner. Maybe 80. You okay with Rachel bringing Tom? Of course. She hesitated. You haven't said much. I'm letting you shine. That line worked. Her shoulders dropped, smug with satisfaction. I called Elise that night. We're set, I told her. I'll serve them during the toast. Make sure there's a witness. There'll be 70. The night of, she wore red. Low-backed. Glittering, intentional. She adjusted my collar. You look nice. You wanted tailored. I delivered. She laughed. I wanted presents. You disappear at parties. Not tonight. The rooftop buzzed with wine and compliments. Her friends circled her like petals. I shook hands, smiled, nodded. Vanessa's glowing, Rachel said. She does when she's center stage. Rachel blinked. You okay? I'm here, aren't I? She tilted her head, then smiled back politely. Vanessa tapped a glass. Everyone. The rooftop dimmed. 8 years ago, she began, we made a wild choice. We got married in a vineyard with 20 people and one broken microphone. Laughter, and I thought, if we survived that windstorm and the salmon being undercooked, we could survive anything. More laughter. Champagne flutes raised. She turned to me, expectant. My turn. I pulled out the red envelope. Before I toast, I said, Vanessa, this is for you. Her smile froze. What's this? She asked lightly. Our 8th year gift. She opened it. Read the first line. Her lips parted. No sound. Tom leaned in. What's going on? Rachel gasped. Is that divorce papers? I said calmly. Signed, filed, delivered. Vanessa stared at me. You're kidding. I shook my head. You said I should be grateful. Her voice cracked. You're doing this here? I figured you'd want the audience. The room stilled. Forks. Stilled midair. You're humiliating me. No, I said. You did that when you called cheating a wake-up call. People turned away discreetly. Elise stood by the bar, watching. Vanessa stepped forward. Can we go somewhere private? We could've, once. Please. I held her gaze. You threw a celebration. I showed up. She looked down at the papers, then back up. Her voice dropped. What are you doing? I'm ending the narrative. The one you wrote without me. Silence stretched between us, then she whispered, you waited for this. I waited for clarity. Now I have it. I turned toward the crowd. Thank you all for coming. The food's paid for. The champagne too. Vanessa planned a beautiful party. Enjoy it. And I walked out, calm, deliberate. Her eyes flicked to the red envelope like it was a prank card or a private joke. I watched her fingers hesitate on the seal. She peeled it open, delicate like she always was with presentation, then her eyes found the signature. She blinked, twice. What is this? Her voice was tight. Controlled. Not yet panicked. A gift, I said. Rachel froze mid-chew. Tom's fork clinked against his plate as it dropped. Vanessa looked up. You're joking. I'm not. You brought divorce papers to our anniversary party? I brought closure. You brought the champagne. She stepped closer. This is cruel. You said I should be grateful. Consider this gratitude in ink. Her breath caught. She looked around. Guests were trying not to stare and failing spectacularly. You waited until now, she hissed. I waited until you felt like the star. I'm your wife. You were. Rachel swallowed, finally. Vanessa, is this real? Vanessa didn't answer. She was still scanning the front page, as if a punchline might be tucked at the bottom. Why now? She whispered. Because you wanted a celebration, I said. I wanted a conclusion. Tom cleared his throat. Maybe you two should. No. Vanessa snapped. Then, quieter, no. Let her explain here, since she wanted an audience. I tilted my head. You want transparency now? She held the papers like they might combust. You blindsided me. Like your patio toast? Like your text messages? Like the hotel charges I didn't book? Someone near the bar coughed. A chair scraped. Vanessa's hands clenched. You could have come to me. We could have talked. I let that silence breathe, then I said, you already decided. You just didn't think I would. Rachel stood up slowly. Do you need anything? I'm fine. Vanessa's smile cracked. You're trying to ruin me. I shook my head. You're the only one who ever thought there was something to ruin. She laughed, sharp and brittle. You're pathetic. I met her eyes. You're free. You really think this makes you powerful? No, I said calmly. This makes me done. The envelope slipped slightly in her hand. You planned this? Yes. For how long? Since the first time I heard you rewrite our marriage with a smirk and a wine glass. Vanessa looked down at the papers again. Her fingers were trembling now, no longer stilled. I didn't think you had it in you. I know, I said. That's why you did it. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Someone clapped once, soft, accidental. They stopped. The silence swallowed it. She took a step back. You embarrassed yourself. Then don't look at me. I don't understand what you think you've won. I didn't answer that. She wouldn't hear it anyway. The envelope now hung at her side. Like a leash she wasn't sure how to release. Rachel walked over to me. Do you want to leave? I nodded. I'll go first. Let her keep the finale. Vanessa didn't move. She just stared at the papers like they were another version of the story, one she didn't write. I turned to the crowd. Thank you for coming. Please enjoy the evening. It's still her party, after all. And then I walked out. No spotlight. No applause, just peace. She slammed the bedroom door so hard the frame shook. Her heels clicked fast across the hardwood, all fury and disbelief. You humiliated me. I didn't turn from the window. You embarrassed yourself. Her breath hitched behind me. How dare you ambush me like that? In front of our friends? They're not our friends, I said. They're the ones you kept when you left me emotionally 2 years ago. She circled me like a storm looking for a weak tree. You're petty. No. I said, facing her. I was patient. Tears welled. But not sorrow. No tremble in the lips. No cracking voice. Just wet rage. I made one mistake. You made it repeatedly. I didn't mean to fall for Jordan. And yet you told him it was worth the risk. She flinched. You read my messages? You left them on the bed. I wasn't snooping. Just straightening the covers. You could have come to me. And gotten what? I asked. Another speech about how I should be grateful. That wasn't what I meant. It was exactly what you meant, Vanessa. And you said it laughing. Her mascara had begun to run now. You blindsided me. I stepped closer. You stole our story. I just took the ending back. You think you're the victim? No. I think I finally stopped pretending I wasn't. She sat on the edge of the bed. Her hands trembled, not from sadness, but from losing the frame. Her frame. You always hated being second, she said. I tilted my head. To what? Your charm? Your spotlight? Your need? I built this life. And I held it together. While you decorated it with lies. She was quiet then. Not broken, calculating. But her tools weren't working. I never thought you'd leave. I know, I said. That's why I had to. You're not even angry. I was. Now I'm clear. I gave you everything. No, I said gently. You gave me reasons. She stood slowly. What happens now? You sign the papers. You get to keep your image. I get to keep my self-respect. Her voice dropped to a whisper. You really don't love me anymore? I didn't answer, because some questions aren't for answering. They're for remembering who asked them too late. Elise slid the folder across the polished table. This is the final asset report. Everything's categorized. Vanessa didn't touch it. Retirement accounts, the condo, the vehicles, investments. She's agreed to a 60-40th split. You'll get the 40. Vanessa laughed, a dry, theatrical exhale. And I'm supposed to thank you for that? No, Elise said, calm as linen. You're expected to sign. Vanessa looked at me. You're really doing this? I already did. She blinked. You moved the savings without telling me. We each had access. I documented the withdrawals. You were at Jordan's when the transfers were made. I was going through something, and now you're going through this, Elise cut in, smoothly. If you dispute, we go to court. That'll trigger a subpoena for all text records. You'll be deposed. Vanessa turned to her. You don't have to be so smug about it. I'm not, Elise said. I'm fero. Vanessa's mouth opened, then closed. I watched her recalibrate. You think this makes you powerful? She asked me. No. Just done. She shifted in the leather chair. What about the car? You can keep it. You paid for most of it. And now I'm paying to not have to speak to you again. She stared at the document. You think this makes you better than me? I think it makes me free. Elise leaned in. If you'd like your own counsel to review this, we're happy to send. I don't need a lawyer, Vanessa snapped. I'm not the one hiding behind paperwork. No, I said. You hid behind charm. That cracked her. You never said anything. Not once. You smiled, you nodded. I was surviving. She fell back into the chair, defeated but not resigned. Elise remained still, letting the silence widen. You blindsided me, Vanessa whispered. No, I said. You dismissed me. She looked at Elise, as if appealing to a judge. This feels cruel. Elise didn't flinch. It's equitable. Cruelty would have been public. Vanessa folded her arms. So this is it. It's the signature that ends it, I said. Her eyes finally dropped to the page. She skimmed. Elise waited. I watched. You left me with nothing, she muttered. No. I said gently. I left you with yourself. Her pen hovered, then scratched. The moment she finished, Elise reached without ceremony and retrieved the folder. We'll send confirmation once it's filed, she said. Vanessa stood. Her breath trembled now. You'll regret this, she said. I didn't answer. I turned to Elise instead. Can we go now? Elise nodded. Yes. It's done. The notification buzzed at 10:43 p.m., a single ping that landed like a pebble in a still pond. Hey Vanessa, I thought you loved me. I stared at the screen. No emojis. No punctuation. Just the raw sentence, sitting there like a wound too old to bleed. Gavin. The cat jumped onto the couch beside me. I set the phone down without touching it. The message stayed unread for 23 minutes, then I opened it. I reread it 3 times, slow, deliberate. My hands didn't shake. My jaw didn't clench. There was no fury. Just silence. The kind that settles after everything collapses. I typed. I did. Until you asked me to be grateful you broke me, then I stared at it. I shouldn't reply. I murmured to myself. The room didn't disagree, but the cursor blinked, impatient. I imagined her sitting in her apartment. No wine, no guests, no curated performance. Just a woman in a robe, scrolling through a conversation she no longer controlled. I pictured her rereading her own message, wondering if it had been brave or pathetic. She probably expected forgiveness. Or an echo of pain. A sign she still mattered. The cursor kept blinking, then I heard the front door open. Elise's voice came through soft. Still awake? In here. She stepped in, coat draped over one arm. You okay? I held up the phone. She texted. Her brows lifted, but she didn't ask for more. She said, I thought you loved me. Elise's expression didn't change. Do you want to answer? I shook my head slowly. I already did. I just never hit send. She sat across from me. Read it? I passed her the phone, her eyes scanned. Then she handed it back. Good line, she said. Terrible idea. I know. You're not looking for a response. No, you're not even looking for closure. I leaned back into the couch. No, then don't feed the echo. I locked the screen. I won't. We sat there in the quiet. She always needed applause, I said, and you never clapped. Not loud enough. She noticed. Elise said. I looked out the window. She noticed too late. Elise rose. You want tea? Yeah. Mint. As she moved into the kitchen, the screen lit up again. Vanessa is typing. I turned it over, face down, then stood. Walked into the kitchen. Elise handed me a mug without asking. We didn't talk about Vanessa again. The blinds don't rattle here. The windows don't creak when they open. And the sun, God, the sun, doesn't ask for permission to flood the kitchen tiles. I wake before the alarm. Always have. But here, I stay in bed a little longer. The sheets are mine. The scent is lavender. There's no perfume lingering that isn't mine. No discarded heels by the dresser. No ring of lipstick on the mirror. I pad into the kitchen barefoot. The tiles are cold. I like it that way. Real. Awake. I pour the coffee. 1 mug. No second cup out of habit. No small talk scripted around mood swings and appointment times. I sip slowly. My phone lights up. Not from her. A message from Elena. House. The new place. I text back. Quiet. Bright. She sends a heart. That's enough. I hang the last canvas. Mine, not bought, not borrowed. Abstract, bold, a little unbalanced. Just like I wanted it. The knock comes at 10:12 a.m. I open the door. Elise stands there with a folder and that slight tilt of the head that means business, cloaked and calm. Still a lawyer on Saturdays? I say. She steps in. When there's final paperwork to hand deliver. She sets it on the counter. Everything's processed. Property transfer. Final signature from the court. It's official. I nod. No appeals. She didn't contest. Not after the settlement terms locked in. And Jordan? Elise gives the faintest smile. Apparently, not looking for permanence. I open the folder. Scan the top sheet. This is it, then. You're free. I breathe in. Deep. Even Elise watches me. Any regrets? Only that I didn't leave sooner. Would you have listened? No, she shrugs. Then no regrets. We sit. I pour 2 cups. You're different, she says. How? Still quiet. But not small. I look around the apartment. This is mine. It shows. We don't talk about Vanessa. Not directly. There's no need, she said. Cheating helped her find herself, I say after a moment. And you? I found peace when I left. That's the difference. I nod. I thought healing would feel louder, I say. It usually doesn't, she replies. It just feels honest. The sun shifts. Warms the corner of the room. Elise sips. So what now? Be mes filles d'Ibels. Finish a series. Maybe start teaching. She raises an eyebrow. Teaching? Art therapy. For survivors. Of all kinds. Her smile is real this time. Let me know when you launch. I know people. I will. She stands. Keep the folder. It's yours now. I walk her to the door. Be well, she says. I already am. The door closes with a soft click. I turn. Look at the apartment, the imperfect throw pillows. The crooked bookshelf, the sunlight reaching across the floor like it has every right to be here. I take another sip of coffee. I'm not waiting for the next chapter. I'm already living it.